on to the next section of the show, which is, as you know, the experiment. And this is the bit I'm excited about on this show. This is the bit that I think people are going to like. I'm going to like this. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a data geek. Maybe I'm just the one that likes testing stuff out and seeing real numbers. And part of my inspiration for this show was that I couldn't see any shows out there, and please do let me know if they exist. I would love to see them. I could see loads of shows out there that are documenting their journey. So there are shows out there with stories. There's shows out there that give you theory. They tell you this is a tactic that I think can work for you. But there weren't any that were putting it into action and putting a story around it. So what I want to do is give you an experiment every week or every month, or the periods will differ, but you can follow along and see how we get on. And the first one I want to start with is related to email marketing. And it's because I'm doing a lot of work on our email marketing funnel just now to make sure that we are offering stuff that's really valuable to people, that's really good and useful to people, so that they come onto our funnel and we don't just sell to them. Obviously, the reason for a funnel is selling. We're going to give people access to our products. We're going to show them what we do. But the purpose of it really, the main purpose is to give them a ton of value. So that starts with the opt-in. And this is what I'm experimenting with right now. So I'm sure you've all heard of the idea of a custom lead magnet. If you haven't come across a lead magnet at all, a lead magnet is really just a resource, a tool, something valuable that you give to people in exchange for them signing up to your mailing list. So if you go to a website and something pops up on the screen and says, hello, thank you for reading my How to Eat More Healthy website. Here is my ebook, which gives you 10 great recipes on how to eat more healthy this month. Just pop in your email address and I'll send you it. The purpose of that, obviously, is to get you onto their email list so that they can then start sending you more stuff and eventually try and sell you a product. But the lead magnet is genuinely valuable. It's genuinely useful to you, which is going to persuade you to sign up. And it's going to make you like that person or that company because they've given you something good in the first place. So lead magnets have to be good. They have to be useful in the first place. So that's what a lead magnet is. It's an ebook is the classic example. You send them an ebook which teaches them something valuable. So a lead magnet can be general. It can be something, and this is what we've done previously. We had a how to podcast book, which we gave out. So that was our general lead magnet across the whole website. Traditionally, the conversion rates on that type of lead magnet, i.e. how many people sign up for it as a percentage of your total visitors, is not great because that is such a generic thing like how to podcast. There'll be so many people come to our site that know how to podcast. They're looking to grow their show or looking to monetize their show. There'll be so many people on our site see, I want to know how to podcast, but I don't want to read an 80-page book on it. I just want to know what equipment I need. So it's so general that actually it's not that appealing. So it did work for us. We used to get conversions of around 1.5% to 2%. So that would be every 2 people out of every 100 would actually fill in their email and get the book. But that's not really good enough. I mean, we're not really getting enough people onto our email list for that. So that brings us to the idea of a custom lead magnet, whereby you create something that is actually more tailored to the post they're reading. So the idea behind this is that if somebody searches for what is the best digital recorder I can use to record a podcast interview, then they'll find my article, which is best digital recorders. They'll read that. They'll find a recorder that suits their lives, that solves their problems, and they'll go, that was great, wonderful. And then instead of a pop-up popping up which says how to podcast, which they don't need, because if they're advanced enough to be buying digital recorders, they know how to podcast. Instead, a pop-up's going to pop up which says something like, here's 5 tips on how to best utilize a digital recorder in a noisy environment, or something like that. So it's something that's really tailored to the post. So they read the post, they get the value, they like you because you've given them something good, and then you're wanting to pop something up which actually adds to that. Maybe it's a checklist. Here's the 5 things you should check on your digital recorder every time you record to make sure you get the best quality. Something like that. Something quite specific. Something short. A lot of people don't, like I say, they don't want to read an 80-page ebook. They just want to read like a 3 or 4 page set of tips, which gives them something valuable. So that's what I want to try. So the experiment for the next 4 weeks is that we created a Skype checklist. So it's one of the most common ways to gather content for your podcast is to interview people via Skype. But the trouble is that people on the other end, your interviewees, your guests, often it's their quality that ruins your show. They've not checked that they're in a quiet environment. They've not checked that they're not using their internal mic on the laptop, which is terrible. They want to put a headset in. They've not checked that they've turned off Dropbox so that the Skype connection stays reliable. There's 10, 15 things in our Skype checklist that you can send to guests for them to tick off to make sure that they take 2 minutes just to go through this checklist to give you the best possible chance of getting a really good quality Skype interview. So this is just a 3 or 4 page guide, something like that we send out that we can give to people that helps them get a better interview, essentially. And I'm putting this on all of our posts that are related to Skype recording. So people are searching for what's the best way to record a Skype call, what's the best software to record a Skype call, what are equipment setups that allow me to record Skype in a digital recorder. We've got a range of articles related to this topic, and what I'm doing is putting this pop-up on all of our posts that are related to these Skype calls. Okay, so it's only maybe, I have 5% of all the posts on our site, but it's a category, and it means that lead magnet is really well tailored to all of those posts. It's not directly tailored, it's not as detailed as a custom lead magnet for every single post, because that takes a long time. That's a really hard thing to do. If you're putting out 3-4 blogs a week, creating 3-4 custom lead magnets, this is instead creating a lead magnet for a category. So it's much more tailored than just a general lead magnet, but it's much more sustainable in that you don't have to create a brand new lead magnet for every single post you do. So that's what we're doing. I put that on about 3 or 4 days ago. So it's now running. I'll talk about what we use to actually run this on a future episode. I think I've already spent enough time explaining the experiment. I don't want to go too much longer on this one, but I will talk about the software we use to run these kind of tests, to run our pop-ups, and I'll tell you all about that, how that works. But right now, we've got a pop-up coming up it's an exit intent pop-up, so everybody, when it looks like they're going to leave, that pop-up will appear and it'll ask them to sign up. I've got an A/B test running on that for the headline, so I've got 2 different headlines. I can explain more. I'll show you the exact details on that next time around, actually, when I report back on our first week's findings. And I've also got an end of a post opt-in as well. So that just means an opt-in box at the end of the post. So if they're not looking like they're going to leave, they get to the bottom of the post and there's a sign up straight away there, which says, enjoy this, then get our Skype list checklist. Get our Skype call checklist. And I want to test both an A/B test on the pop-ups, different headlines, but also compare the pop-up conversion to the bottom of the post conversion and see how that works, because pop-ups, controversial, not always great, so you kind of don't want to use them if you don't have to. But I want to, if they convert so much better that it's worth annoying people a little bit, then you can use them. But this is what I want to get. I want to get the data that proves whether that is the fact or not.